So why do Christians celebrate Christmas on December 25th or January 7th or 29th of Kiach if you're Coptic? Just out of the gate, I'm not planning to discuss the difference in the Julian and Gregorian calendars. I tackled that topic several years ago in a short form vlog I did. I'll drop the link for that vlog in the YouTube description of this video. Every year around this time of year, people spout out this idea that the early church picked December 25th because of some pagan holiday. But it's important that we understand that the Nativity is a paschal statement rather than just being a birthday celebration for Jesus Christ. The early church did not choose the date of Christmas arbitrarily, nor did it primarily borrow it from pagan festivals. It wasn't trying to co-opt paganism. Instead, December 25th emerged from a deeply theological way of thinking about time, salvation, and Christ himself. Early Christians believed the major events of Christ's saving work were mystically and providentially connected, not scattered randomly across history. The date of the resurrection is the anchor for the rest of the celebrations of the church. From very early on, Christians associated Passover and crucifixion with the 14th of the first month of the Jewish ecclesiastical year, the month of Nisan. Yes, I know, that's how Egyptian uncles pronounce Nissan, as in the car, right? Nisan. Anyway, the 14th of Nisan was usually connected with March 25th. This date was understood not just as historical, but as cosmic, the moment when Christ conquered death. In Jewish and early Christian thought, there was a belief that great prophets were conceived and died on the same calendar date. The logic was theological, not biological. The idea was that a life given perfectly begins and ends in harmony. So March 25th was seen as the date of Christ's death and closely tied to his resurrection. The date of the Annunciation, when the Word took flesh in the womb of the Virgin Mary. And so the Annunciation was understood as the beginning of salvation for the early church. Salvation does not begin at the manger, but rather at the moment of conception. Now, when Archangel Gabriel announces to Saint Mary, and she responds, "Behold, the handmaid of the Lord," the eternal Word enters time. This is the true beginning of the incarnation. If Christ was conceived on March 25th, then 9 months later brings us to December 25th, the Nativity. This isn't a coincidence, it is a proclamation. There's a theological meaning. See, there's the circle of salvation is announced. By placing the conception of Christ on the same date as his death, the church was making a bold theological statement. Christ is conceived to deal with the final enemy, which is death. Christ is born to rise. The manger already points us to the cross. The womb of the Virgin already anticipates the empty tomb. That's why, if you look at the Orthodox icon of the Nativity, you'll notice that it's depicted as a cave or a tomb rather than a nativity manger. It's a theological message. In other words, Christmas and Pascha are inseparable. The incarnation exists for the sake of the resurrection. The early church was saying, in effect, the moment Christ enters the world is already ordered towards the moment he redeems it. So time has been redeemed by Christ. This way of dating the feasts reflects how the early church understood time itself. Christ doesn't merely act within time, he sanctifies it. The calendar becomes a theological confession rather than just a passing of events. History is no longer random, it's gathered around the person of Christ. December 25th or January 7th, then, it's not a birthday, it's a proclamation that the end is already present in the beginning. Why this matters? This understanding guards us from sentimentalizing Christmas. The child in the manger is not simply a symbol of warmth or innocence. He is the Lamb who will be slain and the Lord who will rise. The early church chose December 25th to ensure that no one could celebrate the Nativity without already being pointed towards Pascha. And nobody could celebrate Pascha without reflecting back on the incarnate Word who entered the world from the Virgin. In short, Christ was conceived on that day that he would redeem the world. He was born to conquer death, and he died in order to rise. That is why Christmas is dated as it is, not because of culture, but because of Christology. Whether you celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the incarnate word, on January 7th or December 25th, Merry Christmas. Christ is born, glorify him.